Welcome to day 2 of the free course where I will teach you basics of PHP, MySQL, HTML and also how to create membership system. In today's video we are going to create registration form and also accept the information from that registration form and save that information to the database. So first we need to create a website with the registration form. So basically our goal is to create this. It will be first name, last name, email, password and for example register. Okay, and this, here on the table I will just show you how to create this document, this form, and only first name and sign in button. Other things I will show you on the computer. So first we are going to define this document, so it will be HTML. Okay, now I'm not going to show you how to set title and other things because I want to keep things simple, so I will show you only how to create this form. So we are going to define body, and inside body we are going to create our form. So let's say I'll write here. So form, action. Action is basically where the data from this form will be sent to. So it will be the name of our file. So we will name this file register.php. Register.php. Okay. The next thing we need to define is to define the method of this form, how data will be sent to. Method equal. Here you can write post, or let's say the second option is get. Depending on which you can use of those two, define what you will use inside the PHP, but I will show you that later. So now we need to create this input, so it will be input. Type of the input is text. Name, so we can recognize this is different, okay? It will be first name and that's it. And as I said, here on the table I will only define this because it is different than all those. So it is the type of the button. So input type is button. Value is what will be shown as a text on this, but we'll set as register. Okay. Register, and that's it. Okay. And now every opened tag needs to be closed. So form is one tag, this, and we need to close it. So it's like this. Okay. This backslash means it is this slash means it is closed. Okay, now we have opened this body and we need to close it, so like this. Okay, and HTML is opened and we are going to close it. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now I'm going to show you how in PHP we are going to accept all those informations so we later can save them to the database. So let's say this here is part of the PHP file. So first we need to define file as a PHP, and we need to close it. So let's say here, okay, everything here between those two will be represented as PHP code. So as I said, we have two types of the form and how data is sent. So it is post and get. In our example we used post. Okay, so first we are going to define a variable where we will store this first name. So variable is basically like container. Okay, so first name equal, and since we used post we will put like this. Okay, post first name okay, first name. Same thing it will be for the last name, email, password and stuff like that. submit button we really don't need to accept. And later, after we have used all those information, we will store them to the database. But later I will show you how we are going to do that. But for now, this is how we are going to create this form and how to accept all those informations. Let me show you now how we are going to create this on the computer. So now once you understand what we need to do and how to create the basic website, we are going just to type code so I can show you the final version. So we are going to define HTML, okay, body, our form that we already saw, this register PHP, method will post, we need input, okay, type is text, name will be first name, that's it, we'll put break, let us copy this few times, okay, we need here last name, email, password. For the password we will put it like password type so that we can see what we are typing, and the last one is the button that we need. Okay, so it is type of button and the value is register. Okay, so now this is the basic form that we are going to have for our registration form. So before we even check this, we need to run our server. So I'm going to open terminal. I have it here inside my PHP store, but if you don't have it and using Linux like I do, you can open it from the dashboard. So I'm going to say, since I'm already positioned myself inside OpLamp, I will just run it like xampp start Apache and xampp start MySQL. Okay, that's it. Now let's see how this looks like in browser. So it's localhost, it's membership system, is inside members folder. Okay, and we have nothing here, so we are going to type register.php, and this is our form: first name, last name, email, password. We can say here like placeholder, first name, placeholder, last name, email, password. Let's see now this. So when we click, it will refresh, okay, because data is sent. Now we need to write PHP code that will accept this information. So we can send it to some other file, but we can stay inside the same. I'm going to do it here. So as we said, first name equal post first name. Okay, last name equal let me just copy paste this. Okay, so it's going to be email, password, and we don't need this one. Okay, so it is password and it is email. Okay, now if some data is sent, we are going just to output it to the browser so we can see what happens. So let's say echo first name. Okay, we can concatenate this string, but let's put this so it will be for you much simpler to understand what we are doing. Email and password. Okay, let's test. Okay, we got here empty because we have sent nothing, but let's say first name, last name, email, password, registered. Okay, now we have the data that we sent. Okay, So pretty much that's it for this. Later we are going to insert this data inside the database. Before we move, I want to write one condition which will decide is some data is sent or not, because if we don't do that, let's test what will happen. Okay, cancel. Okay, this is happening because we haven't defined any variables. So we're first going to say if isSet, and let's say first name, okay, and let's check now, it's gone. Okay, but if we do this, okay, I have deleted echo, but just as an example. Okay, there isn't problem, but now we are going to see the data, and that is the difference and why we use this condition to check if actually someone is pressed submit button. We can do it even like this, give some name to our register button, and let's say register, and here we are going to check this button. So only if someone is pressed register button, this part here will execute. So that's it for now. I'm going now to show you on the table how and which commands we are having in SQL language, and after that we are going to insert this data inside our database. So now when we are created our form and website and also accept all the information from the form, we need to insert our informations to the database. So this is our table inside our database, the one we named users. Okay, and now we want to store the information from the registration form to this database. So before we move any further and I show you on the computer how we are going to do this from the PHP, I want to show you only 3 commands inside the MySQL. So first one will be how to insert something inside this table. So the command that we are going to use is insert. So we are going to write insert into users. Okay, this is the name of our table. Okay, this, and we are going to define which columns we are going to insert. So first one is first name, next one is last name, I will continue here. The next one is email, the next one is password. Okay, and now we need to define what is value of all those columns. Okay, so values, and for the first name we will put, let's say, Snade. For the last name, let me continue here, is, okay, email is hello cpi.com, it doesn't matter really, and the last one is password. Okay, password is password, it doesn't matter. Okay, and that's it. This is the command in SQL language that we will just execute from our PHP code. So once we execute this, in the database will happen the next thing. ID, since if you remember, is auto increment, so automatically it will set to the 1. Okay, first name will be the data we have here, so it's going here. Okay, Snade. This is our last name, so it's going here. The same thing is going for the email and for the password. They are going here and here. Okay, so I'm not going to write because I want to keep this video very short. Okay, so this is how we are going to insert something. But how the next command I want to show you is how we are going to check something into the database. Does it exist? Also how to pull data from the database. So the next command is select from, no, sorry, my mistake. Select, and now we are going to write which columns we want to select. If we put like this, this means we are going to select all those columns. But if we don't want to do this, we can write it like only selected, which is always recommended way. So we can say first name, and for example, let's say email. Okay, now we are going to say from, this is going the name of the table, again it is users. Okay, from users. Okay, and when we execute this query, from this table we will select all first names and all emails. So if we have thousands of users or millions, it doesn't matter, we will select all first names and all emails. But if we want to select only, for example, one or some exact row from the database, we are going to say where and let's say ID. I will continue here so you can see ID equal 1. Okay, so when we execute this query from the database, from the PHP, sorry, we are going to select CNAID and email. So once we execute, we will see this. It is first name, email. Okay, and here will be CNAID and hello at, it doesn't matter. So that are two comments. So let me clean this up, so I will show you the next command. And the last command I'm going to show you is how we can change some data that already exists inside our table. So the command in SQL language is update the name of the table, which is users. Okay, users. Set. And now we are going to write what we are going to change. For example, we are going to change first name. Okay. First name equal, let's say, CNAID 251. It doesn't matter really. Comma. I'll continue here. What we else want to change? For example, let's say the user is updated his last name too. So last name equal it doesn't matter, some random number, and that's it. We are not going anything to change this. And if we are execute only this query, that means that all users in the database will be updated. So if we have 1,000 users will change first name and the last name, and we of course don't want to do that. And now we need to add again where, and let's say ID equal 1. Okay, or we could set where email equal something, but it's important that we use something, some column that is actually unique in the database. Okay, and that's it. If we now execute this, table will be updated, and here won't be any more CNAID, it will be 251, and that's it. Now this user is updated in database. So let me now show you how to use all those SQL queries inside PHP. So now once we understand how to use and which commands we need to know for SQL language, let's now connect to our database and insert this information inside the database. So first thing is to connect. So let's say connection equal new MySQLi. We are going to type what is our server, which is basically localhost. We are going to write here the username for this database. We are going to write here the password, which by default on exam server is empty, and we are going to type here the database, which is membership system in our case. Okay. The next thing is we need to escape all those inputs, because that is recommendation to do always when you send some data from browser and store it to database, just in case that someone will not potentially put SQL in action and hack your database. So we are going to put here connection real escape string. Okay, so let me just copy paste this for all inputs, and we need to close brackets. Okay, and now we need from PHP to call the query that will actually insert this data inside the database. So it's going to be data equal connection query, and we are going to put insert query that we already know. Insert into users first name, last name, email, password. Okay, values, this first name, last name, email, and the last one is password. Okay, so let's first test now will this be inserted inside the database. So let's put something like first name, last name, email, password. Click register. Okay, let's now check what happens inside the database. So we are open localhost PHP myadmin that we already know. Click on the membership system and then on the users table. And now we can see that data has been inserted. Now we are going let's see what will happen in case that we made some mistake inside this query. For example, we put users2 instead of users. So if you are going to try this, as you can see, user is not inserted inside the database, but we actually have no idea that this happened. So we need to have some way of how we can test that. So we are going now to put here if data equal false, echo, let's say only connection error. Okay, let's test this, and there you go, it said table membership system.users2 doesn't exist, which is what we want to do. Okay, let me delete this so it's going to work. And we are going to add here some, so that we know that data is inserted. So say the data has been inserted. It doesn't really matter what is your message, put any you like. Okay, so let's test. Continue, the data has been inserted. And pretty much that's it for this registration form. Later I'm going to show you how you can use select and update commands for SQL language, but for today's video this is it. Okay, so I really hope so you like this video, and if you have any questions, please comment in our thread in Facebook membership group so we can actually reach out and help you. I hope you like it. Bye bye.